It's something to think about when you're purchasing your property, what type of home you want, what you should have in that climate, in that area. So, going over the different types of homes in Florida, depending on where you're at in Florida, you could really see a lot of different uh, types of homes, whether you're in, South Florida versus Destin versus Northwest or Northeast Florida or in Key West. There's a lot of variations and differences throughout the entire state. So, looking at my notes, I mean, for example, in the Florida Keys, you're going to have stilt homes, not everywhere, but it's very common. And so those are more elevated homes that are on stilts that you have many steps to get into the front, uh, you know, more designed to deal with surge and water impacts, and, an open space underneath to be able to store vehicles and other equipment. And then you have, coastal contemporary homes, which are, we're designing many of those now. And getting into the Mediterranean style homes, concrete block homes is also somewhat common. And you'll start to see with the SIP panels, which is the insulated concrete block type of panel homes. Concrete is very common throughout the Florida. It's a very strong structural system. There's multiple different types of homes and different styles, but it's something to think about when you're purchasing your property, what type of home you want, what you should have in that climate in that area. So, for example, if you're in Key West, I would highly look at an elevated home and understanding your flood risk there. I don't think you'd want a home, right at the elevation of the current land because you could run into a lot of potential impacts. But, really the location and the climate and the weather all can influence these different type of Florida homes throughout the state.